Hey, come take a trip with me back to 1952 as we service America's most iconic farm tractor, the Ford 8N. Back then, a house would cost you $9,000. This tractor was state-of-the-art and cost you $1,400. Dwight Eisenhower was elected president in November. There was no such thing as assembled in USA with global materials. We built it all. Let's take a look on this machine at how times have changed. On the operator platform on this thing, there's no safety. There's no safety stickers or anything like that. That's because back in the day, this tractor had two safeties. Common sense, and for it to start, it had to be in neutral to get the starter button to run. If you have this thing in gear, you can't do it. The drain plugs back in 52 had a screen on them. The oil pickup for the pump sat right here in the screen, ensuring that nothing made its way into the oil pump. If this doesn't scream peak baby boomer, the air filter will. This is an oil bath filter. They call it an oil bath filter because it literally uses oil to filter the air coming in. In here it looks like steel wool, if you will, right? I don't know if you can see that. There it is. There's all the stuff an oil bath picks up. How do we get all that trash out of there? Well, remember back then gas was a nickel a gallon, a nickel. And what they would do is they would just dump their gas or their kerosene, because it was even cheaper. All right, they'd dump their gas in it like this. Remember, this was a nickel back then. Then they'd stick their hands down in it. You ever wonder why old mechanics' hands look like the hands of the crypt keeper? Well, it's because they never wore gloves. There was no such thing as latex. They were sheepskin. And, well, by judging how many kids they had, the sheepskin didn't work as good as the latex, if you get my drift. Bow chicka wow wow. After you get this cleaned out and refilled with oil, slap it back on, then just remember, you know, to do this stuff here. The other thing is grease. This thing loves grease. Unlike today where everything's sealed, baby boomers loved grease back in the day. So don't forget to grease. Make sure this is back on, the clasps are good and tight because that's how it breathes. Can you believe gas was a nickel back then? A whole nickel a gallon. The only reason I remember that is this was my uncle's tractor, and he used to tell me how much gas was every time we worked on it when this thing was new because he lived through it. Oil filters in 52 looked a lot different than they do now. They were made out of paper. The simplicity and shrewdness of this machine is what has kept it going all these years. Let's check out this thing. That's what a paper filter looks like. That there is your fuel filter. That's what they call a sediment bulb. You could actually look in there and see if you needed to unscrew it, drop the fuel out of it, wipe it out, and put it back in. If you don't like a Ford 8N, it's because, well, you're probably not mechanically inclined and, well, you don't have common sense. I'm Matt the Welder. God bless America, FJB, and I really miss Daryl Singleton.